Welcome back to Living Green. I'm here with Paul Keiser of Agriculture and Health Alive. And Paul, when we left, we were talking about the value of the soil and our nutrition and where our foods come from. Tell me a little bit more about the things that you've discovered. I know you're an avid reader and do a lot of research. Explain to me some of the things that you've learned, not only happening nationally, but also internationally, how we've dealt with this.
Well, there's a tremendous movement in India where organics and biodynamics are just racing across the countryside. They say that more than 100,000 Indian farmers, once the synthetic chemical pesticides had killed their soils, and some of the GMO plants, like cotton plants, had failed to produce a decent crop. So many of these farmers, more than 100,000, committed suicide. They had no other resources, and life was over for them. So, but organics is just raging across that country. They're declaring GMO-free zones and all organic zones, and more than 100,000 of the villages are whole or in part organic, and with a tremendous national commitment to it, with the state governments even joining in to support this whole movement. And this is the kind of thing we need here. We need to declare GMO-free zones. We need to declare all organic zones, this type of thing, put up signs, and if the municipality says don't put that sign up, get a new ordinance passed to declare these places. We don't want any synthetic chemical pesticides here, this type of thing.
Well, it really becomes a conservative point in terms of how do we protect the land that we as farmers are considered stewards to protect. You mentioned India, and not only in India but in other parts of the world, their native seed stock has been altered, has been changed, has been in a lot of ways patented and taken out of their hands. Can you address how that's happened not only there but also here in the United States?
Well, here there's some resistance, but not a whole lot. The resistance is much stronger in Europe and Japan, and then in India also. I know Vandana Shiva and some other organizations got together, and they some multinational was trying to patent the neem tree, which is just a wonderful tree. And that tree's in Australia and Africa now too. And so they were trying to patent part of this neem tree, and this neem tree goes back thousands and thousands of years as a mother to humanity. And they successfully, in a court, pushed that back, that attempt to patent that tree and take it away from us, from the commons. And but here in this country, there's resistance. I mean, the Organic Consumers Association, there are different organizations that are resisting, but they're not strong enough. We need to be challenging things much more. There's a lot of the universities and colleges and even high schools around now that have environmental education, but there's very few activists coming out of it. It's like they leave the schools and go watch television or something, or go listen to their iPods, and they're not relating to the problems that are right around us here. The many things that where we could start to take action and change and improve things there. We need to completely convert the culture from a junk, toxic, wasteful, violent culture into an earth harmonious culture where people are happy, animals are happy, plants are happy, the soil's happy, the waters become drinkable again, the air gets clean again, this type of thing, and future generations are considered.
Well, it's important for people in the urban environments to recognize the value that farmers put in terms of not only their dedication to growing and being prosperous, but their dedication to making sure that their land is viable and stable.
Well, even the urban areas, we need to first of all start to redesign the whole culture and replace so that if a new development goes in, a building development, we can have new standards in place to ensure that that's going to be an ecologically friendly construction that's going on there. With handling energy, water, the water that's falling on the place, all this, a completely different way that we handle all these things that's managed. That's one thing. And then our waste matter. We can generate energy from our wastes, and then those wastes can go back to the soil through a composting process. We can get methane gas There's $48 billion worth of food waste in this country every year that's generated. It's been estimated. We can get alcohol fuels out of much of that, and then the residue can be composted, mixed with municipal leaves and other things, and other kinds of food waste from industry, and then the compost goes back to the land to hold that fertility on the land, and we burn this beautiful alcohol fuel, which is just one of the cleanest fuels that there is.
Stay with us. We'll be right back with more with Paul Keiser on Living Green.